Hello everyone, welcome to our channel CareersTalk. My name is Swan Sharma and I'm an agile consultant based in Netherlands. And at CareersTalk, we invite industry experts from around the world to share their real experience with us. Today, we are going to discuss top 10 most asked AI Scrum Master interview questions shared by our community members. And to help us, we are glad to have Shubhra Haldar with us. She is working as an agile coach in Luxmark, which is a part of Xerox. But friends, before we start, please subscribe to our channel and we really appreciate if you hit that like button. Okay, so without further delay, let's get started. Hello, Shubhra. Thank you for joining us today. Shubhra, over to you.
Yeah, hi Sunil. So thank you for inviting me in your channel, and I'm really honored to speak about the most relevant questions that these days industries ask or are looking for in Scrum Masters. So what do
Yes.
you?
Thank you, Shubhra. Thank you. So before we get started, why don't you tell me about yourself in a brief?
Yeah, so I am basically working as an agile coach and Scrum Master in Lexmark, and I'm having more than 20 years of experience overall in varied fields. So like starting from cloud solutions to telecom, then mobile a bit, and multiple things I would say. And I'm also holding multiple SAFe certifications, including POPM, SAFe Scrum Master, Advanced Scrum Master, PSM, CSM, and all those stuffs. And
Okay.
right now, I'm working, or rather, I'm leading the agile transformation and delivery for cloud solution teams, driving efficiency and collaboration across the organization. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Shubhra. Okay. So let's get started. So the very first question is, so in your experience as a Scrum Master, how is AI changing or redefining the responsibilities of Scrum Master today?
Okay. See, what AI is doing these days is AI is streamlining the routine tasks. So, like, say, for example, tracking sprint progress, generating reports, and monitoring team health. So, all these routine tasks you can give it to AI, and the Scrum Masters are now free to focus on coaching and team dynamics rather than manual tracking. For example, the most used tool these days is Jira, right? So Jira is having this AI powered insights. So that can automatically flag overdue tasks or sprint risks. So Scrum Masters no need to track all those stuff. So they can fully concentrate on the manual, or rather the humanly part, which is coaching and team dynamics. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Why not? Great. Okay. So what do you think, like, what specific AI capabilities do you believe are most valuable for Scrum Masters to leverage right now?
See, there are a couple of things that will be relevant for Scrum Masters these days. The first being predictive analytics. So, say for example, being for the sprint forecasting, right? So, sprint completion, backlog spillover, risk areas, all those stuffs needs some predictive analytics, right? So, there are tools available these days like Jira Insights. Then you have Azure DevOps Analytics. Using these, you just need to read the data or read the flags that are raised by those staffs. You need that analytic skill. That is one thing. Second thing I would like to say is maybe natural language processing. So maybe we don't need to know the core technical part of it, but then it will be helpful for Scrum Masters to analyze the team communications, to gauge the team morale, or maybe they can use tools like Microsoft Viva Insights or Slack AI, Copilot with Teams. All these tools are available these days, right? So it can basically go through listen through the team meetings, and they can process what is being discussed and then give you back. So these are the key points that you can highlight on when you are talking with your team or collaborating with your team. The third thing I would like to say is maybe automated reporting and summarization. So there are tools available these days. The same Jira AI, the Azure boards and co-pilots, they can give you the charts, but you have to use the charts to show the reports to the stakeholders, right? So that reporting and summarization is one of the qualities that might be important for the Scrum Masters. And last, not the last, the second last I would say is maybe intelligent backlog management. So previously, what Scrum Master used to, everything was manual, right? So these days there are a lot of tools available. So using AI, you can actually prioritize, say, based on your customer feedbacks or historical velocity. You can actually intelligently manage your backlog. So that is one of the stuffs. And the last but not the least is risk detection and recommendation. So again, based on the blockers, the previous history, you can suggest on improvements, right? And there are a lot of tools available like Power BI, AI dashboards that can be integrated with Azure DevOps boards. And then you have this plural site flow. So all these tools can be used. So these are some of the capabilities I feel that Scrum Masters will be most relevantly looking for these days. Over to you.
Wonderful, Shubhra. I just want to add one more small use cases, which I think is most powerful for Scrum Master, which is a retrospective. Um,
Yeah.
so what we can do, like, I mean, there are a lot of things which we can do with nowadays with the AI. So what normally I'm doing, like I, with the help of AI, like I just take all the retrospective items and then I ask, my co-pilot that, okay, tell me what are, or identify the recurring themes or the patterns which, teams are doing. So the co-pilot can have, we create, multiple agents like that. So they can retain your history over the period of time and they can work, like we can integrate co-pilot with our Slack channels or with our, MS Teams and all. So based on those patterns and whatever the action items or the inputs which we have provided, they can come up with, they can track all those action items, the improvement, and they can even suggest some of the best ways which we can with the help of which we can improve as a team. So I think that's one of the use cases. Just want to add
Yeah,
on
that
top of
comes
it.
under this natural language processing. So that is basically kind of sentiment analysis, right? So when people are talking in retros, it collects those datas, and then you can sit back and get your insights from Copilot or the Viva Insights, whatever tool you are using, and then you can gauge. I mean, where the problem is. So
Correct.
that is the one of the very frequently used tools these days in retrospectives. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let's move on to our next one. So, if you can give some of the examples of how AI, tool can help a Scrum Master to improve the team collaboration, specifically on that, because nowadays there are team members who are working from home. Then there are team members who are sitting into different location, different geographies, and things like that. So, how we can leverage AI tools over there?
Yeah, definitely. See, tools like Microsoft Viva Insights or maybe Slack AI, these what these tools do is they basically analyze the communication patterns, to detect disengagement from a particular member or some collaboration bottlenecks. So Scrum Masters can actually use these tools, these insights to facilitate better interactions. Maybe a use case can be one that you said, like in a distributed agile team. So there are members in remote areas as well as locally. So AI can actually highlight the time zone related communication gaps or even, uneven participation in stand-ups, helping Scrum Masters to restructure the meeting formats. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So if I understand, like we can leverage AI to analyze the different team communication patterns. Um, so all most of the tools, for example, Microsoft Copilot, as you mentioned, Slack AI, or there are again Team Mood, and there are a lot of different AI tools. So what they are doing nowadays, like um they process your chat history, and then they can identify the pattern. So, for example,
Yes.
if someone messages you, so uh, the message got unanswered after 2 3 exchange, or if there are some key questions that has been asked but not been acknowledged, or there are
Yes.
certain team members who really interact or they are isolated, or there are a lot of things. So maybe
Yeah,
we can.
it most frequently happens, especially in retros, as you said in the previous under the previous question. So mainly if you see, when you go and try to facilitate retros, you will find not all people will engage all the time, right? So these things in the live meeting, you might not be able to focus on exactly what is happening. But then when you have these powerful tools with you, they can actually analyze the communication stuff and then tell you back, see, so and so member was not so much engaged during the meeting. So maybe you can change your format a bit and try to get them engaged next time. So these are some
Okay.
of the powerful stuffs that can improve team collaboration.
True, true. I'll tell you one or two quick use cases. So, I mean, what we are done so far. So, for example, with the help of which I just mentioned, right, we can now know that, okay, the team response latency increased from 40 minutes to 3 hours over the last sprint. So we can get those data-based insights, right? Okay, only two people have initiated, 75% of the technical discussions, or there are repeated questions about API integration, which indicate that teams are not clear, or they don't have that shared understanding on this, API thing. So like this, we can generate a lot of insight. So like who collaborate most or who collaborate least, or if the silos are forming inside the team, or there are the topics that cause confusion, or there are some repetitive answers and things like that, right? So
Yeah.
so there are a lot of insights which we can generate, which is, sometime in the past we're not able to look into those kind of things. And then based on these insights, we can propose some, targeted action items. So example, we introduce a weekly acknowledge sharing meetings, like 10-minute sync up on API updates, for example, something like that. Or maybe we can pair our junior or senior developers on the next features to balance the knowledge distribution and things like that. Maybe we can create a shared API FAQ board to reduce repetitive questions. So, or maybe like we can rotate the facilitator role in daily Scrum calls to improve the engagement
Yeah,
and
one
things
thing
like that.
that came to my mind is this facilitated role. So this is a very powerful tool actually. So one of the biggest dysfunction that it can detect is how often you are overshooting that 15 minutes time for your stand up, right? So if you are doing a 1 hour stand up or 45 minutes stand up, so that is not actually a stand up, right? So it gives you that time check. So it is actually very good. And if you analyze the daily time checks, and you find that, yeah, it is a common pattern that you are every day you are overshooting your stand up time. So it means that it needs some change. Stand up is only meant to be short and crisp, right? So if you are overshooting your time daily, then there is something wrong. So maybe this can be a point of discussion in the retro. And it can be I mean, the team members also can chime in and put in and how better they can
Abs-
utilize the time and then bring it to a short 15 minutes meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I think let's move on. I've done enough discussion over here. Okay. So the next question is, how do you use AI, to improve your sprint planning sessions in practical terms? If you can tell us few things, that would be great.
Yeah, so AI actually enhances your sprint planning and retrospective by making them data driven, predictive and efficient. So maybe the first thing I can think of is intelligent backlog prioritization, which I just mentioned in one of the questions. Like you can use this Azure boards or Jira, which has this AI powered backlog suggestions based on historical velocity, or maybe customer feedback, or maybe the severity of any issue that you are having in your backlog. So that is one thing. Another thing may be accurate effort estimation. So you can use tools like Jira Advanced Roadmaps, or in Azure Board, there's AI that suggests your capacity planning adjustments, that you made based on the team availability and past throughput that you're having. So all these data is already there, and we can use these AI tools, which can actually help us to, make us more efficient going forward. Because this is the most common dysfunction that we have seen, or the one area of improvement is always user story estimation. So I think if this is used, then the teams will get some help in, based on their earlier history, how they used to estimate a story, and then how it actually went through. All those data are captured. So using these, it can actually help you in accurate effort estimation. And
Absolutely.
then another one that I can think of is maybe risk prediction and sprint forecasting. So again, Jira Insights or Azure DevOps Analytics you can use. So they can actually predict your sprint completion probability and flag a risk early, right? Even based on your historic cycle, and even based on the lead time or the cycle time that we say. These days there are a lot of analytic graphs available in your dashboard. You can put it there and you can just flag it that your cycle time is too high, so it can flag out that risk, right? And the last one that I want to say is again automated retrospective insights, which we were just talking about. So there are tools available. I think there's one new tool called Parable integration, right? It can be integrated with Jira. So they can actually summarize the feedbacks and they can detect the blockers using natural language processing. So whatever is being discussed, those all, including the metrics that we have. So everything you can analyze and it can come up with some great insights that can really help you in the retrospection, and even how better you can do your next retrospective with the team. Over to
Wonderful.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's move on to our next question, which is like there is a lot of discussions around AI replacing certain roles. Do you believe or do you think that AI could ever going to replace a Scrum Master role? Why or why not?
Yeah. So my short and crisp answer is no. AI can actually never replace the Scrum Master role, because Scrum Master role, if you think that that role is only for tracking the status and everything, so it is a myth actually. That is one part which can be handed over to AI. But the bigger part is the human connection that a Scrum Master makes with the team, the coaching part, the guiding part. So that I don't think AI can replace that, right? So what AI can do is AI can augment the role of a Scrum Master, but it will not replace, it cannot replace right now. Because using AI, Scrum Master can become more efficient. Why? Because it can give AI the responsibility of handling data and automation. But then Scrum Masters bring the emotional intelligence, which I don't think AI has, right? EQ is a very humanly thing till date.
True.
Though there are a lot of language processing and behavioral processing coming up, behavioral models coming up in AI. But still, I think that human connect is missing. I don't think there will be a human connect in AI that can, because there are a lot of other factors, right? It is not only about putting your behaviors in a model and then it can analyze, and that will be same for all people across. People behave differently based on culture, based on a team set, or based on their experience. So that human connect is only a Scrum Master's humanly role, which can never be replaced by AI. So a practical use case can be, say, for example, in a high pressure release cycle, AI can flag, burnout risk, but only a Scrum Master will go and facilitate a conversation with the team, you know, to address the team model. Because obviously, if there is a burnout, the team model will be down, right? So that empathy is needed. And I don't think AI can replace that empathy part. So the short answer is no.
True. So, yeah, I mean, just to summarize, like Scrum Master is fundamentally a human role. So, we have to understand that as a Scrum Master, what we are doing. So, we are building trust, we are facilitating difficult conversation, we are coaching through different conflicts, we are navigating our team's emotions. We are doing a we are meditating between different stakeholders. We are creating that psychological safety. We are sensing team energy. We are understanding the dynamics in a room, which AI cannot, right? So, as you also mentioned, emotional intelligence, the EI part, right? It's about emotional intelligence, about empathy, it's about intuition, it's about lived experience. These things AI cannot replace. They can assist, but they cannot replace, right? And we all should remember that Scrum is built on empirism and relationship. So Scrum thrives on shared accountability, the transparency, the human conversation, the inspect and adapt cycle, that collective
Yes.
ownership. So all these things cannot be replaced. I mean, of course, AI can optimize, AI can help in the prediction, but Scrum is not an optimization framework. It's a people framework, I think.
Exactly.
So replacing a Scrum Master with an AI bot is uh, is a biggest risk. But again, yes, of course, we can leverage it to an extent, as we already discussing it, that yes, we can leverage AI with the sprint matrix analysis. We can detect different patterns in team communication, forecasting, capacity calculation, lot of things, story point based calculation,
Estimations, yeah.
retro action item tracking, or maybe we can generate different meeting notes, drafting agendas, retros. We can suggest backlog refinement improvements and things like that. So there are things which we can do with AI, but then there are things which cannot be done by AI, at least for now. And I don't see that for next 5 to 10 years that could be
Yes,
change. It's
definitely.
next to impossible, honestly, right? So of course, future Scrum Masters, Scrum Masters in 2026, they should use AI as a team insight engine. They can spend more time on team health and coaching, as we already discussed. They should focus more on conflict resolution, cultural differences. They use AI to drive data-backed decisions. That's again
Yes.
important, and they can now invest more deeper into human leadership and not just the admin work. So
Right,
in future, Scrum Master will become more strategic, more human, and more valuable. To be very honest,
right, right.
so yeah, AI can be a Scrum Master assistant, but AI cannot be the guide, the coach, or the servant leader, right? So yeah, I mean, if I have to use an analogy, AI is a microscope, but then Scrum Master is the scientist.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, of course, AI will take 30 to 40% of Scrum Master admin and analytical task, but the core role, the coaching, the facilitation, the leadership, the culture building will remain irreplaceable for me, right? So
Right.
yeah, I would say in fact the AI will make a great Scrum Master. I mean, so it's even going to help us in the long run.
Yeah. I mean,
So
for
yeah,
sure, in the future, in 2026 or later
beyond.
on, a Scrum Master has to know AI. So AI literacy is a must for the Scrum Master role. But then it does not mean that AI is going to replace the role itself. So
True.
AI is only going to make that role more efficient.
True, true. Okay, let's move on. We are running out of time. So, okay. So the next question is, how can Scrum Master incorporate AI inside into driving the continuous improvement within the team? Though we have discussed about it, but if you have to just summarize it, or yeah,
Yeah. So, see, for continuous improvement, there are certain things that Scrum Masters can use or rather include. First thing would be analyzing team metrics automatically. So using tools like Plural Site Flow or Jira Insights, they can actually track all the metrics part. So maybe velocity, maybe cycle time, maybe lead times. So that is one part. Another part is, say, for example, identifying bottlenecks and predicting risks. So AI can be used based on the data available. It can actually predict backlog items that are likely to spill, enabling a proactive planning. So might be, uh, say for instance, we have a release of 6 sprints, and in the third sprint, AI is flagging you that, you know, as per the prediction goes, there's a risk. So maybe it needs some replanning. It can lead to or uh, ask the team. The Scrum Master can go and ask the team to do some proactive planning to mitigate that risk. So AI can be used for all those predictive stuffs, right? Then again, the important one that we already discussed about is sentiment analysis for team health. So like the tools we discussed, Microsoft Viva Insights or say Slack AI, they can actually analyze the communication, like communication tone, to spot
true.
disengagement. And the last but not the least is again automating retrospective insights. So you can use tools like Parabol or Team Retro uh, that use AI in turn to summarize, the feedback and highlights uh, that happens in a retro, and they can tell you back that these are the recurring issues that they've observed, that the tool has observed, and you can take it forward in the next session maybe. And hold on to that area of improvement and try to improve the things. Yeah, so that's what I can
True,
say.
true, true. So, just to add over there, I think we can use AI generated suggestion as a starting point, but not a decision. So, for example, let's say
Yes,
if AI is suggesting that, okay, introduce a 24-hour SLA for code reviews, but then we should ask the team, okay, would this will help us? Is this a realistic, or what variation fits our context, right? So
yes,
teams adapt, but then ownership stay with them. That's important
yes,
thing, so
yes.
yes, I mean
So, so basically, yes. So when you are using AI, you have to remember one very important thing, that you are not supposed to use that blindly. If
true.
you use that blindly, then there are a lot of problems that you will face. So you have to apply your own judgment. So if I give some example, like if you are getting some data and you're getting some insights from AI, so what will happen if you directly share the same to your stakeholder? It will not work, right? You need to curve that according to your organization, according to the problem that you're facing, according to your team. Right? So the human judgment is very important. So you cannot leave AI blindly. You cannot just believe on AI and share whatever AI is telling you to everyone. So the human judgment can never be missed in such scenarios. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's move on to the next one. So the next question is, there are a lot of ethical concerns. So as an Scrum Master, what do you think? What are the ethical concerns we should keep in mind when introducing AI tool to our team members?
See, the first that comes to my mind is data privacy. So we are using these AI tools, and especially when we say that we can use AI tools to analyze the team sentiments during a retro discussion, because retro is a very, very open and honest discussion that is bound to happen within that closed room, right? We have only the team discussing openly, and though we are using AI, I'm sure the team trusts that those, sometimes they are not comfortable to discuss all those things openly with everybody in the sense, maybe with management. So data privacy is really very important. So we really need to ensure that data privacy is strictly followed. And for these days, I think whenever we say AI, I think most of the organization are very, very careful about this. So they only allow, though there are a lot of AI tools available, they only allow certain tools which ensures that data privacy is there for the organization. So data privacy is one thing. Another thing is bias. So definitely bias is something that AI is very much prone to. So there we need to put that human judgment in. So we need to detect the bias in AI algorithms and maybe put our human judgment in. Another thing is transparency. So transparency is really important. I mean, when I'm showing a AI generated insight to my team, so maybe I need to be transparent from where I got this data, right? It is not for judging a team, or it is not for you know uh, making a team responsible for certain failures that has happened. So it is basically the data that is available there and how they are going on. We have just used AI to collect that. So we have to keep that transparency with the team. So transparency is another thing that we should be considering. So maybe when we say, for example, when we use AI to analyze developers' productivity, Scrum Masters can actually ensure that the metrics aren't used, punitively, and that the team understands how the data is being interpreted. So that will develop the trust that, okay, we are using so many tools, AI tools, and that is actually doing the right way, not the wrong way. The intention is not wrong. Over to you.
True. So basically, we have to reassure. I think sometimes it may lead to a loss of psychological safety. So teams need to feel safe to disagree, to fail, to express negative emotions, to
Yes.
raise issues in retrospective. But AI could unintentionally, yeah, I mean, restrict this openness. If people think that their words has been analyzed multiple times with the AI. So we have to, I think, reassure the team that, hey, AI help us identify the workflow issues, but it's not there to judge the emotions or the individuals. So I think that
Right.
kind of reassurance, we have to ensure that retrospective remain a safe human first space. So I think that's something which we all have to work on as an Scrum Master. It's an important
Right.
aspect. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our next one. So from your perspective, how does AI influence or AI challenge the concept of servant leadership within the Scrum teams?
See, AI provides data-driven insights for sure, but then the servant leadership still remains human-centered. So uh, I don't think that there is any replacement available for that human-centric skill. The Scrum Masters can use AI to better support team needs, but they cannot use AI to control the team, right? So servant leadership is still existing. It is human-centric, and it will be there. AI is there to actually augment or rather make the role more efficient based on the the automated repetitive tasks that a Scrum Master need to do. So augmenting decision making is something that Scrum Masters will do. When I say augmenting, it means it will augment using AI, but then the human centric approach will be intact. So that will still be there. So maybe enhancing empathy with insights can be one of the examples. So empathy is purely human centric or human oriented skill, but then using the insights, it can, I mean, the Scrum Masters can try to enhance empathy. Maybe sentiment analysis can be an example. It can help the Scrum Masters to understand the team model without intrusively checking. So otherwise we would have to do one-on-ones with everybody and then try to find out the problem. But then what this is doing is maybe it is analyzing the sentiment. But again, we have to keep in mind about the bias. So there are drawbacks, but then all in all, there are tools to help us out. So the servant leadership will be intact in its place, but then we can use AI to make it better. You know? And then one more thing that I can share is like maybe empowering autonomy. So since AI is doing your repetitive tasks, freeing up the Scrum Master to focus on coaching and team empowerment. So that ways uh, your efficiency is somewhat improving, right? And the last but not the least is maybe ethical stewardship. So servant leaders actually they ensure that AI usage is transparent, that what we were talking about just now. So the transparency is very important, transparent and fair, and it is non-punitive, right? So these are the things that AI is going to help us with. But then the servant leadership remains human centric and remains intact. Over to you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I think by looking to time, I think we are good for today. Yeah, I think we'll have one more session for upcoming session for that, Shubhra. So thank you, Shubhra, for joining this session, and thank you, friends, for joining us today's session. We hope you found it helpful and informative. And if you enjoyed this session, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And we hope to see you in our next session. So until then, take care. This is Swarn Sharma signing off. Thank you, Shubhra, one more time. Bye.
Thank you.